What's up? I think you're having a great time. This would be about computer, how does a computer work, and what is the hardware of a computer. We will know research about those what computer work. And let's see. First of all, we need to go to google.com, but don't worry, this is good enough. Google.com. How does a computer work? Okay, dixonite.com. I think this one. When a person is newly introduced to a computer system, a curiosity develops in the mind that how this machine works actually, how it understands my words and would result as soon as my eye blinks. All such questions arise when you are not having knowledge about computer background. Here we will let you know all the answers to your curious mind and discuss the computer system's working process. And what is a computer? Initially, as a new user, one should be introduced with the machine which is known as computer. So a computer is an electronic device that requires a power supply to work. Power supply is the lifeline of a computer, as water is the lifeline for a human body. A computer machine is used to process the information provided by us. It takes information or data from one end, store it to process, and finally, after completing the process, it outputs the result on the other end. The information it takes at one end is known as computer input, and the result that is provided that it provides after processing is known as computer output. The place where it stores its information is known as computer memory or RAM, random access memory. If you want to know more about RAM, comment below. I will make another video on RAM and ROM. A computer system stores information in bits. Well, let's talk about major components of a computer. A computer system works by combining input, storage, space, processing, and output. These four are the major components of a computer. Let's understand one by one. Input. An input is the information that you provide to the computer. We provide the information using the computer's input devices, such as keyboard, mouse, microphone. As you were hearing me, giving command or to the computer and it processing it, it generating an output. That's what you were hearing right now, and many more. For example, when we type something using a keyboard, it is known as an input provided to the computer. Storage it's the place where our output gets stored. It is known as computer memory that keeps the data into it. A computer uses a hard disk for storing files and documents. It uses two types of memory, internal memory and external memory. Internal memory is known as RAM. We talked about random access memory, which is volatile in nature. It stores data temporarily. When the data is ready to be processed, it's loaded into the RAM. After processing it, it moves data for the storage. On the other hand, external memory is used to store data permanently until you remove it or it gets crushed. Processing. The processing of the input is performed by the CPU. What is CPU? Central Processing Unit is called CPU in short form or abstraction form. It's the CPU, which is the central processing unit of the computer. Yeah, we talk about it. Is also known as the brain of a computer that is responsible for processing the data there are different types of output devices of a computer, such as a loudspeaker, projectors, printers, and many more. These all play a vital role in the working of a computer system, hardware and software. The input and output devices that can be physically touched are known as hardware of the system, such as keyboard, mouse, screen, etc. The applications that reside in the computer and can only see them but cannot touch them is known as software, such as Microsoft Word, Excel, Paint, and all the installed software of the system. Well, now need to know how does it all make a computer to work. These major components of a computer system together enable a computer network. First one is operating system. The system's booting process begins that load the operating system like Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. With all associated files, the bootstrap loader starts the booting of the system. So in this way, Windows and its other essential services get loaded to the system. As the opening sorry, it was as the operating system has been loaded to the computer, the installed hardware of the system becomes active and able to communicate with the CPU, or what it called Central Processing Unit. The communication of the hardware devices is performed via an interrupt request or IRQ. When the work current task is already in execution, the interrupt controller sends the request to CPU. This stop processing a new hardware request until the execution of the current task gets completed. The CPU keeps the new request on hold, and that process is stored as a memory address in the memory stack. When the current task execution is finished, the task on hold is resumed and processed. However, if the computer fires in boost, BOOST, and irregular boost is encountered, we can understand the irregular boost when we hear a beep coming from the system that notifies us that some problem has occurred. When we switch on the computer system by pressing the button, a signal reaches the power supply that converts the alternate current into the direct current, known as DC. After that, a proper ample power is supplied to each component of the computer with no issues. All components come in their active state. The power supply sends a signal to the motherboard and CPU via transistors. During that time, the processor removes the leftover data in the memory, and the CPU becomes ready to take over the instruction or input and process it. Computer system. A computer system is an electronic machine. A computer is designed to perform various use-specific operations such as data processing, calculations, computer graphic, word processing, and many such applications. A computer basically operates by performing four basic operations. These basic computer operations include input operation, storage operation, data processing, and output operation. Well, it's a computer architecture, user application, then operating system, then hardware. Hardware first. Software system, operating system, device driver application, and data processing. Okay, let's read it out. Input operation, storage operations, processing operations, output operations. There are four steps, four process. A computer is a digital electronic device because computer system can understand and execute only program instruction in binary. A binary code is represented using binary numbers system in which each number is represented using only two numbers, that is either numeric or 1. What is a computer and hardware? What is computer, hardware, and software? A computer system consists of various hardware and software components. The hardware components are tangible electronic and mechanical components, whereas the software components are the computer programs necessary to operate the computer hardware components and also to perform user-specified other jobs on the system. The user may use the computer for various operations such as data processing, word for the program instructions. Computer program can be written in any programming language. However, the computer programs are generally written in using any high-level programming language such as C language, C++, Java, Python, or the other programming languages. Since computer understands only machine code instruction in binary, a high-level program first needs to be converted into machine code. This conversion process is referred as program compilation. Program high-level converter machine code. Okay, the binary machine code can be directly executed by the computer system. The low-level machine code in binary consists of only pattern 0 and 1, and therefore the computer program are first written in using a human-friendly IDE programming language and then compiled to machine code. Okay, the binary code, machine code can be directly executed by the computer system. What is what is an operating system? An operating system is an essential component of every computer system. It is a type of software that gets loaded fast into the memory each time when the computer system is switched on. An operating system is a system software that is responsible to manage the computer system, and OS provides a user-friendly interface to use the operating computer system. The operating system also performs some of the most important functions such as process management, system security, memory management, resource management. Function of operating system. Memory management. Running, terminate, ready, suspend, and block, unblock. What are computer hardware component? The computer hardware components include of all the electronic components and also some mechanical components. Some hardware components are internal to the system. The internal components are mounted inside a case. A computer case is a cabinet which provides a protective enclosure to the main system components. Casing, power supply, RAM, video card, motherboard, hard disk drive, HDD, hard disk drive. Solving network. Computer hardware component. This is a motherboard, CPU, socket, points of fans, okay, whatever. Some hardware components are attached externally to the computer system. These external components attached to the system are also commonly referred to as peripheral devices. Peripheral devices include input devices such as keyboard, mouse, speaker, camera, and other input devices. Standard output peripheral devices include display, monitor, printer, and external display device. Um, Computer hardware component: system cooling fan, floppy drive, CPU, heat sink, SMPS, power supply, hard drive, optical drive, Motherboard, CPU, processor, RAM modules. Computer system cabinet, microprocessor, computer hardware components, SMPS power in chipset. The computer case cabinet provides a secure and closed space to the system in which some of the most important system components are mounted. The computer case also provides secure mechanical slots in which various internal components can be placed. The internal hardware components are placed inside casing include power units, motherboard, microprocessor, graphics card, mainly memory, RAM modules, hard disk, ventilation, fan, and other components. Microprocessor or CPU. The central processing unit is the brain of the computer. The CPU is also alternately referred as microprocessor or simply processor. The CPU is responsible to perform all the arithmetic calculations and logical operations. The CPU is securely mounted inside a CPU socket present on the motherboard. The CPU mainly provides the processing power supply to computer therefore system. What is microprocessor? Computer system motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board inside the computer system. The motherboard also works as a junction point where all vital components are connected to the system. Some of the most important system components placed on the motherboard include a microprocessor chip mounted inside a processor socket, the main memory RAM modules mounted inside slots, integrated controller, chipset, north bridge and south bridge, graphics card, BIOS and CMOS battery. The motherboard also provides various connection sockets to connect hard disk, memory and other devices. What is motherboard? Computer mainly memory or random access memory. The main memory RAM is considered to be the main system memory. The random access memory modules are mounted inside slots present in motherboard. The CPU starts the program execution only when it is loaded into the main memory. The most commonly used RAM size for 4 GB, 8 GB, and 16 GB. The main system is a critical resource that is managed by the operating system. The main memory RAM is also referred as primary memory or volatile memory. Hard disk memory or hard disk. Uh, Disk memory or hard disk, HDD, hard disk drive. The main memory RAM has a limited capacity and therefore the computer makes use of another storage device called disk memory. The disk memory is installed in the system either as a hard disk inside the cabinet or as an external storage device. The disk memory is considered to be the secondary memory. The hard disk memory is mounted inside a specific mechanical slot inside the system casing. The disk memory has relatively much higher capacity as compared to the main memory, RAM, random access memory, and it is managed by the operating system. The disk memory is also referred as secondary memory or permanent, non-volatile memory. Power supply unit. The power supply unit (SMPS) switched mode power supply is responsible to supply electricity current to various components as per the designated power supply requirement for each device. The SMPS power supply and unit is connected to the input power source on 110V US 220 VUK India. The SMPS provides power output with multiple output wires for different internal system components. This power supply to the system is managed and checked by the power unit installed into the computer cabinet. How computer works: input and output devices. The input and output devices are standard feature for almost all computer input devices. The computer system use different types of input devices which allows the user to interact with the computer system accept the user input data. The most commonly used input devices include keyboard, mouse, scanner, barcode, reader, camera, mic, and other such devices. Output devices. The computer system use different types of output devices to allow the user to use the processed data for different application and display the processed data to the data feature use. Most commonly used output devices include a display monitor, printer, polarized speaker, and other such devices. What are computer components? The software is an essential feature of every computer system. The computer hardware component needs to be directed and controlled with the help of program, also called software. The computer system uses two types of software components, which includes both application software and system. The application software are designed to provide various functionality. The user needs different types of application software to perform various operations. For example, the most commonly used application software include Microsoft Office. The MS Office internally consists of a group of software, and each provides specific functionality to use, such as MS Word, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. The system software is an essential component of every computer system. The operating system is the most commonly used operating system present in every computer. The operating system is the most commonly used operating system present in every computer. The operating system internally uses other system software components such as device drivers and system utility programs. The operating system interacts with various hardware components with the help of another system called the device driver. So far, how computer works. So far, we have learned the basic of computer system, various software and hardware components, and the function performed by these computer components. The entire computer functions can be broadly grouped into four basic operations, which include input operations, storage operations, data, what was data processing and output operations, data output operation. Let us now understand how computer works step by step and the interaction that happens between the various components after the system is powered. Step by step. The user starts the computer, turn on the computer. The computer performs power supply check or post power supply check. The CPU activates BIOS to initiate the booting process. The BIOS loads the operating system. The operating system takes the control of the computer. The user initiates the program execution. The operating system loads program into the main memory. The CPU initiates the program execution. The user input data is stored in the main memory. The processed data is sent to output device. The computer performs power supply check or POST. When the computer system is first powered on, the first job for the computer is to ensure that the computer is getting adequate and designated power supply to the system. The system power supply unit carries out self-test called POST. The POST stands for powers on self-test. The POST test checks the computer system's internal hardware for compatibility connection and ensures that no errors exist before loading the operating system. Post get powers and all. Okay. Once the computer system is powered on, the power supply unit checks the power supply. If the adequate power is available, it sends get power signal to the CPU. Only after successful completion of the post, the bootstrap loader routine on the BIOS is invoked to load the operating system. If the post fails, then the computer system will be for different. After successfully completing the post, the BIOS then attempt to load the operating system into the main system memory. The OS is located either on the internal hard disk attached to the computer system or from bootable OS disk in the CD-ROM drive. The BIOS will pass control to the operating system once it is fully loaded. The CPU activates the BIOS to initiate the booting process. The user can start using the computer when the operating system is fully loaded and operational, and therefore the microprocessor first job is to locate and initiate the process for loading the operating system every time the computer system is rebooted. The CPU loads the operating system with the help of another system utility program called BIOS. BIOS stands for Basic Input Output System. The BIOS is a system utility program which loads the operating system when computer is switched on. The operating system loads program into the main memory. Operating system allocates the necessary resources in terms of memory and the processor time required for the program executions. The operating system then loads the executable copy of the program, machine code, and associated data into the main memory. The operating system efficiently manages the memory requirement needed for different processes running on the system. The OS makes use of virtual memory, which is internal mechanism, to accommodate the memory requirement for the process that exceed the available main memory RAM. The CPU initiates the program execution. The microprocessor is the brain of the computer system, which provides the processing power and the decision-making ability to the system. The CPU initiates the program execution by fetching the program instruction and the data from the main memory RAM. The CPU executes the program instruction one by one and operates on the data as per the program instruction. CPU machine, sorry, in order to execute the program, the CPU repetitively performs a sequence of four-step called machine cycle. The machine cycle steps include fetch, decode, execute, store. The processed data from the CPU operation is sent back and stored into the main memories. This processed data can be sent to any output device such as display monitor or printer so entering store device. Okay, the CPU instruction cycle. The computer program is set. It's detect the computer hardware preferences is a different. The instruction cycle is the time prior required by CPU execute on a program instruction. Is the time taken the CPU to fetch, decode, and execute on single instruction. Depending upon the processor architecture, the processor takes either one or more machine cycle to complete one instruction cycle. How to select best laptop? If you're looking for, they're doing affiliate marketing. If you're looking for a computer guy, they will advise. Computer science fundamental funda. Okay, this is complete. Let's know about. Let's compare the results. Actually, it is javascript.com gigs on site. Jason is the host from. Little bit different. Yeah. Device driver. What is system software and types of system software? The system software is an essential component of every computer system. The system software is computer program used by the system for the management and the function of the computer itself. The computer needs different types of system software components to communicate with the various hardware components connected to the system. The computer system consists of both software and hardware components. The software components can be grouped which includes application software and system. The operating system itself is a type of system software designed to operate the computer system. However, the operating system internally makes use of another set of software to manage, control, and various other components. System user. Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Windows, Linux, Mac. I love the Mac OS, Mac one. And then device drivers. The system software is a special software usually developed by the computer manufacturer companies to communicate with hardware devices. In this article, we will learn what is software. System software is a computer and the system software, different types of functions, and a different types of functional related. What is software? Table of contents. Introduction to system software. What is system software? System software video tutorial. Types of system software: application and system software, operating system, functional system, software operating system. What are device driver, compiler, interpreter, coding assembler? What is utility system software? Features of system software. Example of system software. What is BIOS? Firmware. Okay, the whole process you'll learn here. So, what is system software? The computer system consists of number of hardware components. These hardware components can either The operating system is responsible for managing both the software and hardware resources. The operating system also performs system maintenance and management functions through some system utility program inbuilt in the operating system. The user interacts with computer through operating system. The operating system in turn communicates with all hardware components. Common types of system program like utility project GNU BIOS. We talked about it. Common system utility program. The operating system internally needs a special software called system software to communicate with the hardware device as a function special task for the system maintains. So we can define the system software as a low-level program specially designed to provide an interface to manage and control hardware components. This also includes systems maintenance and management functions performed by the operating system. This system program generally written in low-level language such as assembly language or C language that can easily be programmed for hardware intention. Types of operating system. The types of system software. First of all, operating device driver, antivirus software, compilers and interpreters, firmware, BIOS setup, system utility software, assemble, system cleaning software, application software and system software. The system software and application software are both essential components of computer architecture. The system software handles the communication with hardware components, whereas the application software provides an interface to the user to communicate with the system to perform various tasks. Depending upon the functionality requirements, the user can install application software components. Set of program instruction. System software versus application software. Software used for the management of computer, software used by user for different application software management. System management. Operating system, device driver, system utilities, and software development. Program compilers, program interpreters, linkers, and leader. The application software, general purpose software, word processing, presentation software, spreadsheet software, image and video editor, whatever it is. The system, what is application software? Here they put a video here, we don't watch it. What is the operating system? Is the most commonly used system software. The operating system is an essential component of the computer. They do keyword stuff in here. Computer system and the fast program that gets loaded into the main memory RAM. Every time the computer is powered on, the operating system provides the user an interface to perform various tasks on the computer system. The operating system effectively functions as the overall in charge of the computer and handles some of the most important functions. The BIOS is another system software. The BIOS gets activated when user starts whether start the computer. The BIOS then initiate the system booting process. After the completion of the booting process, the operating system takes the system start BIOS, boost power on self-test, initialize hardware, search and load OS, handover control, and use the main bus control. BIOS stands for what? What is it? BIOS is the abbreviation of basic input and output system of BIOS mean basic input and output system. The operating system handles some of the most critical functions essential for computer system to function. The operating system functions include resource management, process management, system security, command operator, power management, input-output functions as the memory management, system software. What are functions of operating system? Operating system functions: memory management, input and output management, resource management, security management, operating system, computer. The operating system also provides an interface to the user and application programs to communicate with the various hardware devices and perform the desired operations. Um, some of the most commonly used operating systems for personal computers include MS, Windows, Mac, iOS, and Linux. Whereas the Android OS contributes operating system function, resource management, device driver. What is device driver? The operating system internally communicates with the various hardware components through a special system software designed to manage and control a specific hardware component, and this software is called a device driver. The operating system consists of number of device drivers to drive the most commonly used hardware component. However, sometimes the user may have to upload the device driver if it's not available in the computer system. Computer system architectural layers. The device drivers are usually provided by the computer manufacturing companies, and the operating system will ask for the driver if that device is plugged into the computer system. Okay, I think I got outrage. Okay, let's see where. Oh, that's it. A compiler interpreter. The computer system understand only machine code instruction in binary due to its architecture. At the hardware level, the binary code consists of patterns of only two numbers. That is either 0 or 1. However, the computer CPU can execute machine code instruction in binary, and therefore the computer program written in any high-level programming language must be first converted into binary machine code. This conversion process from high-level program code to low-level machine code is called as program compilation. The computer program are compiled with the help of a computer program source code. Compilation is a file-length executable features of the system software. Where was it? All the important system software are pre-installed into the computer system by the computer manufacturer. For example, the BIOS comes as a firmware built into the system. The main function of the system software is to provide as an interface between the system user and the computer hardware. The important feature of the system software are high execution speed, and the system software. Okay, multiple service essential parts of a computer architecture. Essential. The system software components are essential part of the every system computer. It performs critical function and are important part of the computation organizing. Example of systems computer firewall. The BIOS and UEFI. What is the meaning of UEFI? Am I right? UEFI, UEFI. UEFI. What does UEFI stand for? Free dictionary. Looking for online definition of UEFI or what UEFI stands for. UEFI is listed as the world's largest and most authoritative dictionary database of abbreviations and acronyms. What is the Unified Extensible Firmware Interface? This definition explains the meaning of Brave rewards, brave news, brave playlist. So let's see Brave Sword. What is Stars? Brave has Okay, let's see what it everything you need to know with Brave new search engine. Brave biggest competitor DuckDuckGo doesn't have its own index. Okay, let's finish this. It is almost finished. Okay. This is not pretty Brave browser down DuckDuckGo and everything you need to know about Brave's new privacy-focused search engine. Privacy-focused search the web privately. Brave is an open source browser Brave offers improved performance from fast browsing speed, and the browser privacy and anonymity. In June, the company launched own search engine that prioritize privacy above all else. Here is everything you need to know about Brave search engine. The key features that set Brave started announcing merge with the company acquired Telecat. The Brave search is the latest offering by the computer company and slots it nicely in their portfolio of privacy-focused solutions like Brave News and Brave Ads. Now that Brave Search has launched, we have a pretty clear idea of what sets Brave Search apart from competition. Let's talk about this perhaps the greatest difference between Brave and other search engines like Google is that it is used an independent web index. Once Google discovers a new page on the web, it crawlers understands what the page is about. It analyzes the content, images, and the video files, all of we by its own crawlers. However, for certain keywords where the search engine cannot fully deliver results, they may still pull information from other indexes. This is known as fallback fixing, and you can always turn it off. If user follow mistakes from how independent search results are, the company has added a new metric known as search result independence, which you can view on the search page. Let's check if the advertisement did a larger complete whether it's for satisfied result. Anyone did not feel the confident now result with the level of quality you would expect. In this case, you rely on one of the reasons people hesitate to accept new library is their privacy concerns. More and more internet users seek alternatives to big tech, and browsers like Google others make user interface much better. Companies like Google and Facebook offer their core products for free to customers. They harvest user data and then sell it to third parties, creating digital profiles that help advertisers target a more relevant audience. In fact, Google has been known to pressurize algorithms to efficient high privacy settings. Brave Search doesn't track or profile its users. Instead, it offers a fully anonymous search experience by relying on community-driven index. The company has been incredibly vocal about its approach to privacy and transparency. Users, unlike search engines,